To reiterate, this meeting will be off the record.
I appreciate your invitation. How does it feel to be back at your original post?
I'll ask you not to torment our junior staff member, if you would. That all right with you, Mr. Bossman?
My darling Elise wanted me to bring back some ice cream for her. Any good suggestions as a government employee, Chief Taneda?
Now you're making me feel all warm and toasty. That reminds me, actually. I should bring something back for our people. Something they'd really appreciate. Like your head on a silver platter.
If we may, I'd like to proceed with the negotiations. Of Mr. Mori, the Gifted Operations Division has 2 requests. To begin with, the Port Mafia will yield any interest in myself and will not harm my person. And secondly, they will dispose of the gifted organization Mimic, who has illegally entered our country.
I have no qualms regarding the first request. The second one is a bit more difficult, however. After all, they certainly are quite a terrifying bunch. Well, can you make it worth our while?
Otasaku. I know what you're thinking right now, but you can't do it. Even if you did, it wouldn't
bring the kids back. That's what you were gonna say, right?
They still rival us in terms of sheer numbers, and then their location makes
them... You don't have to tell me. I already know. They sent me an invitation.
Listen to me. The boss had a meeting with the Gifted Operations Division. I'm not sure what it was about, but I have a feeling there's more going on here.
That has nothing to do with me anymore. I'm finished with all this.
Otasaku, I know this is the last thing you want to hear, but now more than ever, go find a new purpose. Anything at all. Find something to pursue and follow where it goes. I know there's more out there for you. Hey, did I ever tell you why I joined the Port Mafia in the first place? I had hoped it would help me find my purpose. Death and carnage, hope and despair. I wanted a way to observe humanity's true nature, and there's no better place than a battlefield. That will to live. I thought that being around it would help me find my own.
My dream was to become a writer. I was afraid that if I ever killed again, I'd lose that future forever. That's why I stopped.
Otasaku.
But that dream is gone.
Don't go! Please!
There's only one thing left that I want.
Otasaku!
Forget that my heaven stands above my beautiful days. Won't forget that my heaven.
Hey, what's the big idea, huh? You should take a moment to look where you're going next time. You could have damaged these precious detective tools of mine.
Detective, huh?
Not any detective. I'm a genius. And soon there won't be anybody in Japan who doesn't know my name. I am the best detective the world has ever known.
Sorry, I asked.
You'll take me seriously once you experience my ability. Don't be writing me off just yet. Let's see. I know the two of us have only just met, but it's very unwise to go where you're headed right now. You should reconsider. If you go there, you'll die.
Yeah. I know. me to end it?
Yes. Kill me.
Do you have any last words?
Thank you for a glorious battle. Our leader is still up ahead. Please, save him as well from this nightmare.
All right. I will.
Well, if it isn't Dazai, how rare of you to come visit.
Boss, I'd like to request permission to organize a gifted squad to save Otasaku.
Very well, permission granted. But first, may I ask why you're doing this?
Even as we speak, he's out there all alone, fighting against Mimic at their headquarters. If we do nothing, we will surely lose a valuable, gifted agent.
I understand what you're saying, but I very much doubt Oda has any intention of being saved by anyone. I don't believe you disagree. Listen, Dazai. As the leader here, I am both the pinnacle of this organization as well as its servant. For the sake of our survival, I must make whatever sacrifices are necessary, no matter the cost.
Wait, that envelope. I see. I get it now.
Where do you think you're going?
To save Otasaku.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, unless a kernel of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abideth alone. But if it dies...
it bringeth forth much fruit.
Gospel of John, chapter 12, verse 24. You are better read than you look, Sakunosuke. I deeply apologize for the children, but it seems to have yielded results. Your eyes are like mine now. You look like a man who has forsaken this mortal coil, just like us. You finally come to our world. I bid you welcome. It appears there's no progress to be made this way.
It would seem not. Well then, guess we'll just have to fight without our predictive abilities.
Indeed. You're absolutely right, Sakunosuke. You truly are a perfect specimen.
Our conversation isn't over yet. Stay a while.
I've been mulling things over for a while. The relationship between the Port Mafia, Mimic, and the Special Black Ops, or to be more precise, the Gifted Special Operations Division. It always felt like this conflict was being controlled by someone. Such a bold and intricate design could have only been attributed to your handiwork. That black envelope there was your reward for that brilliant piece of engineering. No matter how powerful the Port Mafia may become, we will always exist with the weight of the Gifted Special Operations Division bearing down on us, in perpetual fear of inciting their ire. So you made a deal to wipe Mimic off the map. And in return, they would agree to issue this permit to you. Our organization would benefit immensely with this in your possession. The Gifted Business Permit.
Sakunosuke, you're exquisite.
I'll accompany you to your end.
What? Is this the ability singularity that Ango mentioned? This is the future I sought to realize.
Why did you want this?
Why did you decide to abstain from killing?
My dream was to become a writer. A man told me long ago that was my true calling. He gave me a very rare book. It was the conclusion to a series that I was never able to find. The man told me it was completely uninspired.
And what was your impression of it?
I thought it was an absolutely wonderful story.
Boss, you were the one who helped Mimic enter this country illegally. You invited them to Yokohama in order to prompt the Ministry's Gifted Operations Division to finally take action.
Correct. As a result, we now possess this very coveted permit. This practically legalizes a great many of our activities, giving our people a safe haven, while Oda tidies up the loose ends at the cost of his life. This is a true victory. Yet telling by your face, you don't seem to be happy about it.
Those orphans that Odasaku worked so hard to take care of. You told Mimic about them, didn't you? You needed the cooperation of the only person who could be a match for their leader. That's why you manipulated him.
Just a moment. You're not leaving quite yet. Explain yourself. What possible benefit is there in going to his aid now?
There are two things that I wish to say to you, boss. First off, you won't have your men gun me down, nor will you do the job yourself.
What makes you so certain?
You gain nothing by doing so.
In the same fashion, I believe you have nothing to gain by defying me and rushing to his side.
That brings me to my second item. There may be no political gain to be had. Even so, I do have a reason to leave. Because Odasaku's my friend.
The last book in the series was magnificent, but there was one issue. Several pages had been cut out near the end of it.
Then why don't you write it?
Just before the missing section in question, there was the following paragraph. People live only to save themselves. You will understand this at the moment of your own death. As I think back on that day, I'm almost certain the man who gave me that book knew I was a hitman. I think his intention from the beginning was to persuade me to stop killing. When the two of us first met, he introduced himself and told me his name. I had long forgotten it, but I finally was able to remember after all this time. Just who are you, anyway?
Who am I? My name is Soseki Natsume.
That's right. He had the same name as the author of the story I loved.
I was once considered a hero. I fought to protect my home, considering it my God-given duty to uphold. In the last Great War, my squad of 40 defeated an army of 600 who were holed up in a fortress. But the truth was, all of it was a setup by our allies. At the time, our country was already entering peace talks. We were used to seize an enemy transit network after negotiations had concluded. In response, our actions were deemed a war crime. We were seen as terrorists by those we once considered colleagues. Some of my men resorted to taking their own lives. But there were those of us who would not meet our end so easily. We not only lost our homeland, but our honor as well. we became cursed to wander a barren wasteland in the hopes of finding a worthy battle.
Could you really not have saved yourself by changing your way of life?
I swore an oath to my men that I would die as the soldier I am. I can't be anything else. No, perhaps you're right, Sakunosuke. In some other life, I may have been able to reshape myself into someone who wasn't a soldier. Just like how you became a man who didn't kill.
I do have one thing which I regret. I never got to say goodbye to someone. In this dark world, he was the only person I would consider my friend. But he seemed tired of this existence, and was waiting for the end.
Was he in search of death like me? A way to escape this place?
Not quite. His search was different.
Sakunosuke, you were perfect. Even your very last shot was sublime. Hotasaku!
I can't believe you. You're such an idiot.
Yeah.
Why did you give him what he wanted?
Dazai, I have something I need to tell you.
You can't! Not like this! You can tell me about it later. You're going to make it, so don't talk like you're...
Listen. Remember how you told me that you subjected yourself to violence and bloodshed because it might help you find some reason to exist?
Yeah, I did. But who cares about that now?
You're not gonna find it. Deep down, you know it's true. Whether you're on the side who kills people or on the side that protects them, you won't find what you're seeking. Nothing in this world will be able to fill the loneliness inside you. Try as you might, the darkness will always be there.
Hotasaku, tell me what I should do.
Be someone that protects people. If both sides are the same to you, then become a good man. Protect the vulnerable. Help out some orphans. I know that the concept of good and evil doesn't mean much to you, but at least it would make your world a little more beautiful.
You can't know that.
Of course I can. I'm certain of it. Because I know my friend better than anyone.
All right. I'll do it.
It's funny. The story I read said people live only to save themselves. It's true. I understand that now.
I never thought I'd find such an important figure from the ministry here. All by yourself in a cheap bar? How very lonely.
Wait, are you...
Now, have a drink.
I heard rumors that you disappeared and had gone underground for a while.
I guess you could say I'm back on the job market. I was hoping you might have heard of some good openings.
I could offer you a job with us. Would that interest you?
I'm afraid that wouldn't work for me. I don't care much for workplaces that have a lot of rules.
Then what exactly are you looking for?
Somewhere I'd be able to help people.
I wish I could tell you I'd help you out, but you have a very sordid history. You'll need another 2 years underground for a clean slate. But after that, I just may have a lead that would interest you.
Well, let's hear it then.
I happen to know of an armed organization of gifted individuals that take on cases residing in a legal gray area. The president of the company is a great man of integrity. I have a feeling you'd like him.
Will I be able to save people?
Kyoka's first job in the Armed Detective Agency was a simple one. Deliver documents to the courthouse. At least, that's what we thought.
My specialty is to lure people into a secluded area, and then kill them.
Don't think about that stuff. Meanwhile, Kyoka is followed by members of the Port Mafia, and a new, even deadlier enemy emerges. Next time on Bungo Stray Dogs, episode 17.
That's not saying much. Oh, did I? Okay. Take
Face,
that helmet off,
you
bro.
won last time.
Are you ready?
Alright, I'm ready. Wait, I'm gonna take my backpack off. Okay, let's go.
Alright, good luck, dude.
Oh!
Wadu? Wadu? Wadu heck? How does the dolphin sound?
Darn. I thought he was on the right. I would have got him midair. That would have been the greatest play of my life.
Ratio. Look at it! I got big hands! Hey guys! You doing alright? Yeah. Just showing everyone my big hands.
Yo, get the fuck out of my boot camp, kids.
Do him some harm. Got him. I waited for him to kill him, dude. Oh my god. That was so good.
Hey, pleb, these are plebs that play like this.
Oh my god, they're like right behind me.
You go and shoot bad guys.
Oh no. I'm dead.
Oh!
Kažeš, Ređe, si dobar, a?
Samo šut.
Šta mi sad raz...
Si sad sam je...
Veni ovo više baš vremena.
Let me use.
Okay, I'm gonna go there straight.
Gonna react.
See if I can Kobayashi or something.
Kobayashi.
Oh, did you go in?
Sekali
Oh.
dia jauh.
Oh!